afternoon, everybody, and good afternoon, Scott. Um, we have here today with us for our next edition of Mondays with Mark, Scot Butcher, who's our chair of our board of directors. Scott, welcome.
Thank you for having me today.
Absolutely. Scott, I thought maybe we would start this afternoon by talking a little bit about yourself, what you do professionally, and your connection with Crossroads over the years. Is that an okay place to start?
Yeah, that's great.
Okay.
So I'm a finance and tax professional. I'm actually a tax credit syndicator, and no one really knows what that is. So it's a simplified explanation is I purchase and sell a lot of tax credits for large corporations. So I've been in the tax and in finance profession pretty much all of my professional life, and have been in the New England area my entire life doing that type of work. So it's been a great career for me. I think I can start to see the end as I'm thinking about what is next for me and my family. But it's been a great experience, and it's allowed me to really focus some of my attention from a finance perspective with Crossroads, and that's how I originally got involved. I originally got involved through a parent and a trustee, Albert Rex. Albert's son Ethan was a student at Crossroads for quite a few years, and Crossroads was going through some growing pains. Albert asked if I'd be willing to come in and try to help from a financial perspective and try to help develop Crossroads into a more robust school from a finance perspective. And got involved and really it was a heartfelt experience for me, and getting to meet the staff and the students, and really motivated me to want to do more, and became a board member. And then I'm going to say 3 years ago now, I was voted to be the chairperson of the board of trustees. So I think I've been the chair for almost 3 years now. So it's been a great experience. Like I said, a heartfelt experience for me. I enjoy donating my time and trying to do what I can to help Crossroads.
Yeah, we're lucky to have you, Scott. We thank you for all that you do and all the rest of the board of trustees does for us to make sure that we are being really consistent with our mission. So we can't thank you enough for that. Scott, from the perspective of maybe some of our audience today who don't really know what the roles and responsibilities are of a board member for a not-for-profit organization, would you mind sharing with folks what
Sure.
your responsibilities are, what your what you do more specifically to help us serve and sustain our mission?
Sure. So I think our primary role as a board of trustees is we have a fiduciary responsibility to really oversee the school, and we don't take that lightly. Certainly in the past we had a lot more hands-on responsibility depending on the level of senior staffing at the school. There was times where Albert was running the school, and other board members were chipping in to help with the accounting and chief financial officer work. And over the last 5 years, I think we've done a great job building an executive staff now that essentially runs the school. And our job is really to provide direction, help set the mission, and have a fiduciary responsibility to all the constituents of the school.
Is there any particular role or responsibility that you particularly like, more so than maybe some of the others?
Well, when I was a board member, I was really focused on the financial well-being of the school. That was my strong suit, where I feel comfortable. Uh, Getting into the chairman's role was, I want to say, I lobbied for it. I didn't, but it came my way, and I took it seriously, and we had we had the next really large undertaking, which was to find a new leader for the school, with you, and that was a very long collaborative process, where we hired a national search firm to bring us candidates and screen them, and it that was a real tremendous experience for all the board members, to see what we have in terms of an executive leadership team, and where we want to take Crossroads kind of to the next level, and expand services, grow our census, while we're still providing the same at on the board level. We call it the crossroadsness, and you hear me say that all the time. We don't want to lose that. That's important to all of us, and it's a real heartfelt message, to retain the crossroadsness, and it's hard to describe what that is, other than just some hardworking, compassionate, and caring professionals that really enjoy their job, and they're terrific at it, and we want to retain that.
I recall the very first time I met you during the process of my hire, you mentioned that word, and obviously that wasn't something that I necessarily resonated with me,
Yeah.
given I hadn't experienced it, but I've heard you say and mention that word, probably hundreds of times since then.
Yeah.
And every time that you do, I feel like I need to say this. Every time you do, it brings a smile to your face, just like it just did. And
Yeah,
I
it
find that,
does. And I think,
really
I
interesting.
think
And
it
please,
means something different to everyone. Board members, staff, senior staff. It means something different to everyone. But I think it all resonates when we're all together in a meeting. What it really means, and it's just to provide the best services for the students that we can, and I think everyone is committed to that, and it's nice to see that happen when you're in the school and you're seeing the staff in the classrooms, seeing the children in the classrooms. It's nice to see that take place, and that's when it resonates what the crossroadsness is all about.
I wonder, do you have copyright on that term?
And I don't, but I'm wondering if, like, maybe Kevin does, or some of the senior staff. They're the ones who brought it to us. When we try to compare ourselves to other schools, and how we can do better, it was apparent to us that the leadership really wants to retain this feeling and commitment, and that was important to all of us as well. So I'd say the senior leadership team coined the phrase.
Okay.
I don't know who, but I'm thinking it was Kevin.
Okay. I'm going to try to dig to the bottom of that.
Yeah.
Definitely dig to the bottom. And it's funny you mentioned crossroadness. It's today I'm here on campus, doing this interview with you, and it's an early release day for our day school. And so the students have been released. We have, day school staff in the building, and it's still, even it's a training, the afternoon's a training afternoon for them. And you can actually feel, I think, what you describe as that crossroadness, even when the students aren't in the building and our staff are, busy at work trying to improve themselves professionally.
Yeah, it's very collaborative, and it's nice to see that. You don't see that in every school, for certain. There's certainly the clinical approach, that's very important, and I think we have some terrific clinicians, but there's the teaching approach as well, and And when you combine them all, it really creates for a great environment for the students. And you can see it when you visit the classrooms. And I'm sure the parents see it as well when they're in visiting. And that's important to us. I mean, ideally, we want to make this we want to make the school as professional as possible from an education standpoint, but still have that love and compassion for the students and their families. More importantly, like I said a few times, it's a real team effort.
It's great. No, I'm really glad to hear that, especially coming from yourself and your important role with the organization.
Thank you.
Scott, what do you think currently right now with into 2021, early into 2021? What do you see as the future of Crossroads?
That's a real open-ended question.
Sure, exactly.
Well,
Yes.
I think we've seen our budget go from, in 5 years, maybe from 6.5 million in annual tuition and cost to run the school to now, slightly over 11 million. So it's grown dramatically in a relatively short period of time. And I think we'd like to see that growth continue, but with some limitation in terms of I don't see the day school ever being the largest day school in the Commonwealth for children with autism. But we want to try to be the best and retain the crossroadsness. But I think what we're looking to focus on now, like the next chapter of Crossroads, is expand the service offerings, whether it be early intervention, adult services, community solutions, and try to expand the crossroadsness to families that are not involved with Crossroads today and don't have a child in the system. So I think that's where I see Crossroads' next level of growth coming from is, we'll certainly expand our census to the extent we can under reconstruction and with the real estate requirements that we have. But then I think it would be great to see us expand those service offerings, and I know we're just starting to do that now, and I think that's got to be a challenge for the school to do that, and for you to juggle not only running a day school but also providing more services to the community.
That's
So I think
that's very helpful. Yeah, that's very helpful. Yeah, sort of clear-eyed, perspective looking into the future. I think that's helpful. I think our audience today would that'd be helpful information for them to have moving
we
forward.
want to see some board development too.
Sure.
That's important to us to maintain our path, a steady path. But we certainly need more board members. The board fluctuates. I think we're six board members. We're as high as I think 9 or 10. I'd like to see the board grow in terms of its representation and skill sets of individual board members, and seeing the board grow to help continue driving the school in the right path is important to me, to hand the baton off eventually.
Sure. Now, rumor has it you just re-upped as board chair recently.
Yeah, I did. We had to amend the bylaws to do it, but I welcome the opportunity to have some additional tenure as the chairperson, and I enjoy doing it. So, to the extent I can help, I'm certainly willing to do so, and love the opportunity to do that.
Well, I want to say that you've been an incredible help to me during my first year here at Crossroads on multiple levels with multiple things. You have really made my first year, to the extent it was, successful, as successful as it could be. I've really, relied on you and at times leaned on you for things, and you've been incredibly supportive and helpful. So I want to thank you for that.
Well, thank you. My job's easy compared to yours. To the extent any of the board members can help, we want to, but at the same time, it's your school to run, and we want to see you do that. And that's why we chose you to come in and run the school. And we've already seen some pretty significant changes, even though your first month on the job, we experienced a global pandemic. Who knew that was going to happen, and how?
You didn't warn me of that, Scott, when I took the position.
If I had only known, I would have warned myself. That's been a challenge in and of itself. While you're looking to grow the school and do different things with different programs, so it's been a challenge for everyone, and certainly not only you but the staff and the families. I think we made it a priority to do what we could to go back to a 5-day program full time. It was a very significant undertaking, by you, your team, the staff, and the board, to make a commitment to lease additional real estate, which was something we really struggled with, having just purchased a new facility. But I think in the long run, with the potential growth of community solutions, we're going to need some more real estate, and having a little diversity in our geography may help grow the community solutions program. So I think in the long run, it should pay off. But that was a difficult decision for the board to make, and for you to present to us. There wasn't a lot of options, and we had to choose an option that was in the best interest of the students and their families. So that's what we did.
Yeah, it was a tough decision for all of us. And I agree with you. I echo what you just mentioned, and it clearly was what we believe to be in the best interest, health and safety wise, of our students and staff.
Yep. Yeah, it was a hard one. I think that might have been the hardest decision, one of the hardest decisions we had to make, because we were all really passionate about the move to Marlboro and financing a new school and getting a new facility to call home, only to find out that we don't have enough real estate to meet the requirements under the pandemic rules to bring the kids back to full time. All right, how are we going to do that? And I think you and your team did a great job making that a priority. I think it serves the students in the best way that we can, and it serves their families the best way that we can.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. Yeah, we've tried to make every effort possible to make that happen in a safer manner as possible for everybody, for sure. Yeah,
it's working now. So
it is working now. We're actually, the day school is back to 5 days a week in person. It began last Monday, so we're in our second week. Albeit we've had some snow days, but a second week nonetheless.
Weather in New England, we can't predict that, along with the pandemic.
Absolutely. Scott, this has been really informative. Hopefully it's been helpful to those who are going to listen in terms of understanding better, who you are and your important role as the chair of our board of trustees. So I want to thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me. I've enjoyed watching the Mondays with Mark that I've seen, and I think it's informative for everyone who's viewing it. So we're excited to see you continue with this, and can't wait to see the next
Yeah,
program.
It's been fun. It really has. It really has been fun, and today was no exception.
Good. I'm glad you're doing a great job. We have a lot of confidence in you, Mark. It was a long process to find you, and I'm glad that we did. I hope all the families that have students at Crossroads really understand that and feel the same way. We're lucky to have you, and we appreciate all the hard work that you and all the staff does for Crossroads.
As you know, we're only as good as everybody else, all of our staff and employees, and they've been, in a single word, terrific throughout this past year, which happened to be a year enduring a
Sure.
a
Historic.
pandemic. Yeah, exactly. Scott, thank you again. It was
My
great. It was
pleasure.
great spending this time with you, and we'll be seeing each other soon.
Okay, sounds great.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you. You bet.